Mesdames, Messieurs, merci d'applaudir, s'il vous plaît, l'arrivée des arbitres. Please welcome referee.
Et vous allez faire beaucoup de bruit pour les athlètes qui vont arriver dans quelques secondes sur la glace accueillie par Astérix de Obélix. Attendez patiemment.
Les arbitres de cette rencontre sont licenciés et désignés par la Fédération internationale de hockey sur glace. Les arbitres sont de Rogers are Goffman and Lindbergh. Les juges de ligne sont de Nynasman are Cavalli and Sushanek.
Checking 1-2, check 1-2. Hello, Benny. 1-2-3, 1-2-3.
1-2-3-4, 1-2-3-4, 1-2-3-4.
La composition de départ de l'équipe de Norvège, the starting lineup from Norway, le numéro 33, 33, Auckland, le numéro 6, 6, Olos, le numéro 10, 10, Norstebo, le numéro 41, 41, Torrensen, le numéro 46, 46, Olimb, le numéro 40, 40, Olimb. La composition de départ de l'équipe du Canada, the starting lineup from Canada, le numéro 30, 30, Johnson, le numéro 44, 44, Vlasic, numéro 12, 12, Pareco, le numéro 71, 71, Fillon, le numéro 14, 14, Couturier, et le numéro 9, 9, Duchesne.
In the crease for Norway is Henrik Hokola, the 22-year-old who played for Leksand in the Swedish League this year. Meantime, John Cooper's team trying to bounce back from its first loss in this World Championship, a 3-2 overtime defeat against Switzerland. Simple situation for Norway. They need 4 points at least in their next 2 games. They play Canada today and Belarus tomorrow. They need Canada to beat Finland tomorrow to qualify for the quarterfinals. Henrik Hokola didn't have a great year for Leksand. He lost his #1 job, and then they lost their spot in the Swedish Hockey League, beaten out by Mora, which will advance in the Swedish League next year. And for Canada, the math even simpler. Regulation win today, 3 points, guarantees first place in Group B.
Looking to bounce back after a couple of disappointing games. The 3-2 win against France, where they got the winning goal off the end boards, and the overtime 3-2 loss to the Swiss. And so John Cooper's gone to the blender with his lines, looking for more production, looking or a little more zip from his team against a Norwegian team that plays pretty hard. They play simply, they play straight ahead.
Norway won its opener against France, beat Slovenia but lost to Switzerland, and then overtime losses to the Czech Republic and the Finns. Alex Killorn drops that back for Colton Parayko, the last player added to the Canadian roster. Feeds it down to Sean Couturier. His centering pass is picked off by Matthias Norstebo. Now picked up by Matt Duchesne. Duchesne throws it back in front. Couturier's stick was tied up by Jonas Holos. Holos, who was a draft pick at one time on the Colorado Avalanche, a 6th-round pick in 2008, played 1 year in the NHL. Now picked off, and Andre Olin with a quick shot turned away by Canadian goaltender Chad Johnson.
This is the line that does most of the damage for the Norwegians, the Olin brothers and Patrick Thoresen.
Thoresen is Norway's all-time leader in goals and points at the World Championship. Mathis Olin loose behind the Canadian goal, try to throw that back in front, that's knocked away, and Olin has it back. Parayko steps into him. And Mathis Olin has that pass go off the skate of Alex Killorn, and it gets down to Johnson, and he'll hang on, and Marc-Edouard Vlasic gets into it with Martin Roymark.
That's a good shift for Norway as they get out of the gate aggressively with their best line. They're able to cycle the puck and get it towards the net. A blocker stop for Chad Johnson gets him into the game, but Norway's game plan really has been pretty much for the whole tournament to play as even as you can with 9 forwards on the ice, and then when those 3 guys get on, Thoresen and the Olin brothers, that's where their majority of their offense comes from.
Norwegian head coach Petter Thoresen is the father of Patrick Thoresen. Longtime coach in Stavanger in the Norwegian League. Alvin DeHaan can't hold the line. Roymark pokes it ahead. And across comes to Mats Rosselli Olsen. Throws that down behind the Canadian goal, and Demers plays it across for DeHaan. 12 straight year in the A pool for Norway. The lead pass goes to Ryan O'Reilly, busting in a penalty coming. And a penalty shot being awarded to Ryan O'Reilly. And he's been money for Canada so far in this tournament. Now gets the first penalty shot for Canada.
Norway's going on a change, and so their players get spread way too wide in the middle of the ice. Alex Bonsaxen's 47 is way out on the left, and O'Reilly finds the seam between Bonsaxen and Johansson. Johansson gets the hook on, and O'Reilly's going to have a penalty shot. Likes to go to the backhand, really good patience.
Has goals in back-to-back games for Canada. In comes Ryan O'Reilly, turned away by Hoekkonen.
Canada's most consistent performer ends up firing this puck up over top of the net, catches just a bit of the elbow area of Hoekkonen right on the 33, and O'Reilly looks up at the video and watches the missed penalty shot 2 minutes in.
Shifley with McKinnon and Skinner, the forward line for Canada. Skinner plays it back. McKinnon's shot drifts down in front. And now swinging back to pick it up is Alex Reichenberg. Josh Morrissey with it. Morrissey pitches up. McKinnon a long shot. Tipped right on by Skinner. And the save is made by Hoekkonen.
Jeff Skinner had an interesting start to the tournament. He scored an empty net goal when he flipped it up over the defenseman's head. Then the next game he scored when he was trying to pass to the point and it deflected somehow into the net. Scored the next game, and then that's where things went a little wonky for him. He took a 5-minute major and a game misconduct in game 4 against France, and then against the Swiss he didn't really have much of an impact. So the tournament slipped away from him a little bit, and they rejigged the lines, and Skinner's one of the players that ends up with a new home.
This line has not changed from the opening game. Point between Marner and Konechny.
No reason to, I guess, unless you're thinking one of those players can help another line get moving, but these youngsters have been terrific for Canada.
Flipped down by Jorgen Carterud, who plays for Linköping in the Swedish League, and Out comes the veteran, Patrick Thoresen, now playing in Zurich this year. He was the Swedish Hockey League's MVP a year ago. Thoresen spent parts of 2 years with Edmonton and Philadelphia. Played in the Quebec Major Junior League. As you mentioned, Ray, the scoring very top-heavy for the Norwegians.
You know, they would have had a chance to spread out their forwards a little bit had they had Matt Zuccarello on their team from the Rangers, but he's not here, and that leaves them with their top 3 offensive players on the same line.
Travis Konechny works in, and now the Norwegian defender, Daniel Sorvik, has lost his glove. And there he is playing barehanded as Marner moved in on him.
Super uncomfortable to do that.
Now Vlasic shoots, and Hookland makes the stop.
You lose your glove, it's worse than losing your helmet. Your helmet, you feel a little odd. Without a glove, just feels so exposed because you know somebody's going to whack your hands when you have the puck. Bad feeling.
Denmark playing Italy today. The Italians hanging by a thread for relegation. As now Duchesne walks out. Matt Duchesne in a quick move, drops it back, and the shot by DeHaan blocked, and the net came off as Duchesne was ridden in by Johansson, but the faceoff will come outside.
What a play by Duchesne. He spins out of the cycle and uses his quickness to get around Johansson, and he slides his back to DeHaan, who's got a wide open net. And the Norwegian player, Bokve Olsen, turns to see where the pass is going. It ends up hitting him right in the foot. Otherwise, DeHaan has got an open net. That's a terrific play by Duchesne, who has got no points and just 8 shots in the 5 games in this tournament. Last year at this time, he had 7 points and was one of Canada's most dangerous players.
Duchesne, a 4-time gold medalist for Canada, 2 World Championships, the last 2, the 2014 Olympics and the 2016 World Cup. Demers steps up, drops it back for Alex Killorn. That long shot deflected just wide as Duchesne appeared to get a piece of that. Now it's knocked back in front. Duchesne works in a backhand shot, lifted that high. And that's 3 grade A chances for Matt Duchesne on this shift.
Got to be shaking his head as he's got nothing to show for it again.
Now Roymark works in his long shot, goes off the stick of Demers and wide. Now the captain, Jonas Holo, shoots that wide. Alex Killorn swings back to pick it up. Killorn with Couturier and Duchesne, this forward line, and now Giroux comes on with Simmons and O'Reilly. And away comes Wayne Simmons, works his way in, drops it off to O'Reilly, winds and shoots, saved by Hookland. Now Morrissey a chance, he fired that wide. All kinds of chances for Canada here in the early going, but nothing to show for it. Now the centering pass goes back to O'Reilly, works in, and Wade sends it back, they score! O'Reilly to Simmons. And Simmons taps it home to make it 1-0.
Finally, Wayne Simmons is able to score. Simmons had an open net in the last game where the Swedish defenseman Christian Marti deflected the pass off the goalpost. All kinds of action around Hockelen in the Norwegian goal. He doesn't really seem to be able to follow the puck very well, and this pass goes across, and Wayne Simmons tucks it into the empty net. There's a discussion going on at the penalty box with the 4 officials.
Oh, the net's off. The near post is off.
Now, if they can review this, there's 2 things they'll look at. One is the area of the net, the opening of the net changed by the net being off. And they're going to take a look at it. Clearly this is off before the puck goes in the net. This net has been knocked off its little peg about 15 times at this one end. It's the one net, and it's never been right. You can see the post is back a few inches. Simmons dunks it in the empty net, that post has no bearing on whether the puck would have entered the net or not. And here's after the quick review.
Marcus Linde is the referee from Sweden.
Upon video review, the net was displaced before the puck went in. No goal.
Not yet for Wayne Simmons. Back to the drawing board. John Cooper wants an explanation here, which you don't often get in international hockey. He might be able to stand up on that bench for a day and not have the referee go over there. The argument would be that the opening of the net was not compromised, and the puck went right into the middle of the net. Oh, he's going to get an explanation here.
The goaltender knocked the net off.
But non valable, un joueur attaquant était dans le territoire.
Watch how easily this post comes. He doesn't do it on purpose. The goalie has his foot against the post where it's supposed to be, and he's going to make a push. The fact that the peg doesn't hold the net with that much force really is the issue here. Canada loses a goal, and after the first Norwegian shift where the Thoresen line had some pressure, they have cemented their presence in the Norwegian end. They just have to go back to work.
Skinner now takes that pass from Parayko, works it back in the corner. Out comes Skinner. Back at the point, it goes for Vlasic. Marc-Edouard Vlasic, a shot hooked on the save. The rebound bounces around in front. And Ken Holm banks it out now for Norway. Back is Vlasic to pick it up.
One thing I've seen here with Hookland is he's having trouble going side to side with the pace Canada's moving the puck at.
In comes Scheifele across the line. The play's onside. He drops it back. And Ken Holm brings it back for Norway. At the line, Scheifele had that knocked down. Now McKinnon has it ahead to Scheifele. Mark Scheifele works in. Now picked up by Roymar. Through the middle for Mathis Olam. Drops it off for Ken Olam. There's Mathis Olam back with it. Finds his brother. The centering pass knocked away. Now a backhand shot taken there by Alex Bonsaxon. Turned away by Chad Johnson.
And now Canada's going to get called for 6 men on the ice. You see, Travis Konecny has straddled the boards. He's a winger, of course. That's not where the winger jumps on the ice from. Konecny got onto the ice and then realized he had to get back off. See Konecny come onto the ice. There's the 6. He looks up and he's like, ooh, I don't belong here. And he can't get back into the bench undetected. So the Norwegians, who have 3 power play goals in the tournament after getting a break on a disallowed goal, will get a power play to try and take the lead.
Off the face-off, here is Norstabo with it. Norstabo, a Norwegian hero. It was he who scored the game-winning goal in the 3rd period Olympic qualifying against France. It sent Norway to the 2018 Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea. Matt Zuccarello had a lot to do with that qualification, by the way. Terrific in that tournament. Now, of course, he, like the other National Hockey League players, will not be able to attend and play for their country in 2018. Norstabo takes the return pass, works it and shoots, and Johnson makes the save.
Chad Johnson had given up 4 goals on 38 shots in the tournament in his 2 starts. It's his 3rd start as Canada's rotated their goaltenders. I thought they were going to rotate through the first 4 games and then settle in with 1 goaltender. But Cal Pickard had a bit of a rough go against the Swiss. So they come back to Johnson now.
Off the draw, Ken Holm with a shot. Johnson makes a save on that. Killorn to the line, but not out. Andreas Martinson plays it back. Here's Holos with it. Drops it back to Ken Holm. Rink wide pass. That was centering pass by Mathis Olam. The puck loose. Johnson down. They battle away for it. It's still free and then fired down the ice by Couturier. Jonas Holos. Picked off by Ken Holm. That pass missed. And Vlasic sends it back down the ice. Canada's allowed 3 goals on 16 opposition chances. Holos up to Thoresen. Patrick Thoresen winds in, trying to play that rink wide, ticked away there by Parayko and back down the ice. Matt Duchesne bears in on Holos. Duchesne gets in the way of that pass, skips right in front, spins and shoots, and he fired it wide.
Oh, he came to play today. Out of the gate, he's been all over the puck. That's 4 chances he's been directly involved with.
Now Rosselli Olsen brings it back for Norway, fires it in, 10 seconds to go on the power play. Vlasic on it. He falls, pokes at it. And the puck loose in behind the goal, picked up by Rosselli Olsen. 3 shots on goal for Norway on that power play. Saxon works in a backhand shot. It pinballs around in front, picked off by Vlasic. Pokes it ahead to O'Reilly. O'Reilly's got Konechny out of the penalty box, but that pass broken up by Saxon. Daniel Sorvik goes rink wide. Knocked down by DeHaan. Lead pass for Konechny out there with Braden Shen and Mitch Marner.
I believe this is Shen's first shift.
Point was out killing part of that penalty for Canada, so Shen steps in at center. Now chipped ahead to Marner. In comes Mitch Marner along with DeHaan and Shen. Marner snaps that pass rink wide, hit Konechny in the hip. And I'll move ahead to Dennis Fame. That pass misfired. Loose in the corner now for Konechny. And he swings it back for Jason Demers. 11.5 to go here in the opening period. Still no score. Shots on goal are 7-5 in favor of Norway. Lead pass there by Chris Lee. Missed everyone. Icing waved off. Now Lee moves up. And Reichenberg played it by him. Back goes Mike Matheson. That got stuck in behind the goal. Now McKinnon has it back. Nate McKinnon winding his way through, slides it ahead for Scheifele. In comes Scheifele now. Winds it across the line. 5 red sweaters converged on him. Mathis Olom being harassed there by McKinnon. Swings back as the Norwegians change. Finds Ken Olom. Now the rink-wide pass by Thoresen. Finds Holos. Holos spins and shoots. It gets back to the front of the goal. Skinner knocked that away from Thoresen. And Lee has it back for Canada. Lee goes rink wide for O'Reilly. In, shoots. And the save is made there by Hoekelen. Scheifele back on it. Centers it. That's knocked away by Thoresen as Simmons had moved in. And now O'Reilly back on it. But the puck leaves the zone as O'Reilly has to play it back. Kicked back by Scheifele, whose stick was tangled up in the bench. And Simmons plays it high in the air. Gloved by Hoekelen. And he'll hang on. No score here in the opening period. You're watching the 2017 World Hockey Championship from Paris.
Regarde, c'est les belles. Regarde, en fait, pour ne rien te cacher, on a parlé de la Norvège pendant tout le match, c'était formidable. Elle m'a convaincu d'y aller, donc j'ai bien payé pour la semaine prochaine. Et j'ai envie de lui faire un bisou aussi. Look. Elle m'avait bouché l'air. Amazing. Allez, on y va basculer. Allez, montrez-moi d'autres personnes. Allez, vous êtes à la caméra. Ouais.
33-year-old Patrick Thoresen plied his trade in Zurich this year. Scored 18 goals there in the Swiss League. Playing his 8th World Championship for Norway. Later today here, France takes on Slovenia. Russia will play Latvia in Cologne. Latvia and Germany are currently tied for the 4th and final quarterfinal spot in Group A, and Latvia and Germany play each other tomorrow night.
Certainly will be a boisterous crowd in Cologne. Is it likely on the line to advance?
Sally Olsen sends that down, an icing called against Norway.
So Peter Thoresen is seen his team have some early pressure and then get snowed under. But Gord, you mentioned on the last break into the zone by Canada that there's 5 red jerseys clogged back at the blue line. To try and weave your way through like Mark Scheifele did on the last entry is going to be really difficult to do. And so perhaps they have to look at making a soft chip past the 5 guys and have somebody jump onto the loose puck and start the offense from there.
Drew back from the face-off. Centering O'Reilly and Simmons.
So this is a newly constructed line. Simmons had a goal disallowed. O'Reilly's had a penalty shot already, so a decent start here.
Not so much this face-off, however.
No, we're neutral. We're idling here on the draw.
A scramble draw picked up by O'Reilly. Back for Demers. A long shot. Hits a leg and goes wide. And Roymark back on it. As O'Reilly swings back. Ryan O'Reilly. Across to Claude Giroux. The Hearst, Ontario native brings it in. Drops it back for O'Reilly and shoots. And Hookland knocks that away. Odegaard with it. And Rosselli also plays that right back in front. Giroux racing to it. Held the line by DeHaan. His long shot goes wide. O'Reilly back on it. Centers it. Couldn't find Simmons. And now Giroux on the loose puck. Knocks it away from Roymark. And once again, Canada maintains possession. O'Reilly drops it back to Parayko. In shoots. Hookland makes the save. It's stuck in his armpit. And he hangs on.
Well, the goalie equipment's not too big. It's in here somewhere. I've got it stopped. Hookland makes the save on Colton Parayko, who can really shoot the puck. And it sticks somewhere in his gear. There it is. Probably fell into the top of his blocker as we look at the replay. But O'Reilly and Duchesne have been on the mark early here. Duchesne has been all over the place.
And Duchesne back out there with Couturier and Killorn. Alex Killorn centers it. Poked at by Couturier. Couldn't find it. Way to the net. And now Morrissey has it back. Ahead for Killorn, who pokes out ahead for Couturier. Duchesne kicking at it. And now Morrissey has it knocked away. Moved ahead there by Thomas Valkve-Olsen. And Valkve-Olsen loose in the corner. Slides it down to Carterroot. Now puck comes free. Valkve-Olsen, a quick shot. Johnson knocked that away. And now Morrissey has it back for Killorn. Pokes it ahead for Couturier. Rink wide, it goes for Duchesne. Pass out of his reach and knocked away by Daniel Sorvik. Couturier waits for Duchesne to get back onside, puts it high in the air, and Duchesne goes hunting for it. Now Konechny out there was knocked away from him. And Reichenberg plays that over the glass and out, but it bounced off the glass on its way.
Another face-off in the Norway end is they're able to get little spits and spurts out of the zone towards Canada's net. Chad Johnson had to make a nice stop on Valkve-Olsen. But the game comes back down to this end again. And for Canada, a key is going to be not to get frustrated that you haven't gotten on the board yet. You've dominated play. You've had the puck in this side of the ice a lot. You just continue to get at it because eventually you're going to wear Norway down and you're going to have them make a mistake defensively. You just have to capitalize on it eventually.
Canada 20-1 all-time against Norway at the World Championship. The loss was in 2000. Canada has won 9 straight since. Now picked out by Braden Point. Feeds it back for Konechny. And Konechny has it back across the top. Travis Konechny, a shot is blocked, goes right back to him. And Konechny moves around Forsberg. Christian Forsberg trying to knock that away from Konechny. Gets it right back and feeds down to Point. Point now. Centering pass goes right back to Schenn with a long shot that goes off a leg. And it's moved out by Von Saxon. And that'll be an icing call against Norway as the faceoff comes right back down to their end.
That's a really good example of you don't score, but now you've got Norway tired. They ice the puck. You get a fresh set of guys on the ice. Just keep grinding away at the game, and eventually you're going to open it up as Marner takes a clip up near the mouth.
Now you get Scheifele, Skinner, and McKinnon the forward line. Forsberg will take the draw for Norway. One to McKinnon. Gets the shot away, but the face-off wasn't done fairly again.
Oh, it's the same guy, number 84. He is
Roman Kaderli of Switzerland.
He's the sergeant of face-offs.
So McKinnon will take the draw now.
See if they can get this thing on the ice sometime soon.
McKinnon wins the draw back to Skinner. And it's poked away by Andreas Martinsen. Martinsen scored the tying goal with 29 seconds left in the third period against Finland to force overtime in that game, which Norway lost 3-2. Lead pass for Scheifele, plays it around. But Norway's been scuffling for points. That long shot by Vlasic goes right on goal. Hookland kicked that away on the deflection. Parayko back with it. Plays it down to Scheifele, taps it across to McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon peels away from Swain, plays that back for Parayko. In shoots, that was blocked by a sprawling Ken Olam. Now Parayko back on it. Now McKinnon back on it. Nathan McKinnon drops it off to Vlasic. Mark-Edward Vlasic rings it around, trying to find Skinner. Parayko steps up and shoots. That's off a stick over the glass and out of play. 6:22 to go here in the first period. The World Hockey Championship returns on TSN in a moment. Simmons had a goal disallowed earlier in the period as the net was off. Comes back out now, along with O'Reilly and Giroux. Ryan O'Reilly and Matt Duchene, the two members of Team Canada, trying to win a gold medal at the World Championship for the third consecutive year. Now O'Reilly for the face-off, wins it back to Morrissey, and Josh Morrissey throws that back in the corner. Olos back with it. And then poked away. And now moved by Morrissey, back down to the Canadian zone as Matheson goes back to pick it up. Drew takes that back pass and now drops it off to Morrissey, slides out ahead for O'Reilly. O'Reilly snaps that pass, rink line for Matheson. In comes Matheson now. In the corner for Simmons, Giroux battling for it. And Bastianson knocked that away. Loose along the board, Giroux swings it back. Morrissey, a hard shot, save made by Hookland. At the line, held by Matheson. Keeps it across to O'Reilly. He's got Rosselli Olsen all over him. Now down in the corner it goes. And Holos sends it to center ice. Stripped there by Morrissey. And Giroux has it back. Claude Giroux winds in. Lofts that down. Hookland gloves that. And drops it down for Sorvik. Daniel Sorvik. And across the line, walks it and shoots. Blocked by Demers. Loose puck in front. And the shot there by Carterud is blocked. As Couturier shovels that down to the Norwegian zone, and in goes Alex Killorn for it. Killorn had lost his stick. The puck still loose in the corner. Picked up by Duchene. Works it back in front and throws that wide of the goal. Now Chris Lee swings it across for Duchene. The pass skipped away from him. Demers a long shot, tipped in front, bouncing puck. Killorn jamming at it. And Hookland has that as Nicholas Rost grabs him, and now Killorn throws down Rost.
If Matt Duchene continues to play today through the last 40 minutes like this start has been, he's going to get on the board here. It's been an outstanding, energetic start. Look how quickly he gets to the front of the net. He sets up Calvin DeHaan and almost an inadvertent block. Keeps the puck away. A giveaway is a breakaway. He flips it up over the net. Here he uses that quickness again to get away from Sorvik, and he spins that wrister wide.
Couturier for the faceoff. Now it's Couturier, Shen, and Duchesne the forward line. Olos digs that free for Norway. Shen comes in. Under 5 to go here in the opening period. Still no score. And Christian Forsberg goes rink wide there for Reichenberg. Now picked up and moved in by Martinson. Throws that back in front. No one there for Norway. Back at the point. Odegaard is shot. That's tipped high by Reichenberg. And the face-off will come outside. Reichenberg plays for Storhammer in the Norwegian League.
Scored 16 goals this year. It's his first international tournament for Norway, the 24-year-old scoring a goal and his initial chance in this tournament.
On the winning side of the longest playoff game in recorded history in the sport. Storhammer beat Sparta Sarpsborg in the 8th overtime in a game that took 8.5 hours to play. Ended at 2:45 a.m.
I imagine everyone was enthused that was watching it. Watching 5 periods of nothing. Can you imagine what the pace must have been at 1:30 in the morning?
It was the 8th overtime, so I mean...
Oh, 8th overtime.
8th overtime, yeah.
Okay,
so it's 11 periods, yeah.
Fantastic.
Even better.
Can you imagine those guys? How tired must they have been?
So they ate every 3rd overtime intermission.
Did they have a buffet?
They had some pasta, apparently. Somebody whipped up pasta.
That's a really friendly way to do things, isn't it? There's the penalty to Norway and Canada's power play, which is zipping along 6 for 16 in the tournament. Second to the Russians, who have just ripped apart the other side on the man advantage. Now they'll get a chance to get on the board first.
Here's O'Reilly, taps it back to Parayko. In for Marner. Mitch Marner drops it back to Parayko. Lots of traffic now as Parayko feeds it back to Marner. Works in, waits. Drop pass for Parayko. Shoots, and that's tipped away by Forsberg. Marner back with it. Drops it down the goal line. O'Reilly back for Marner with a quick shot. Hoagland makes a stop on him. McKinnon. Loose along the boards, just walks in, drops it down. Scheifele centers it, bounced away from Marner. And Marner able to hold the line with that rolling puck. Drops it back to Parayko. His pass goes off Forsberg. A race for it now as Parayko knocks it ahead and finds McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon works in. Canada changing as Lee comes on and McKinnon has to leave the zone. Now McKinnon with a head of steam. Comes in, shoots, and Hoagland steers that away high off the glass. McKinnon sent flying. And back at the point, held by Marner. Mitch Marner in the corner for Scheifele. Canada changing again as McKinnon goes off. And Marner winds in. Off the bench comes Skinner. Here's Shen with it. Braden Shen, who had 17 power play goals in the NHL this year, back for Skinner. Skinner takes a return pass from Lee. It bounces off a stick and goes wide. Skinner back with it. Burns shoots, and Hoagland knocks that away. Giroux down for Simmons. Skinner back on it. 2.5 to go in the period. 30 seconds to go in the power play. Skinner winds it back for Lee. To Skinner. Rink wide. He goes for Giroux. Low Giroux. Winds in and drops it back. Lee with a shot tipped right on. Hoagland save. Rebound. Score! Braden Shen pokes it home, and Canada takes the lead.
The familiarity of the Philadelphia Flyers on this power play pays off. Shen started in front of the net. Simmons is in the high slot. You see them scissor back to more regular positions, which is Simmons down by the net front, Shen out top. Simmons keeps this play alive. And Braden Shen, Gord, you mentioned 17 power play goals in the regular season. He hasn't played very much, but he slides into position here, chips this up over Hoagland, and it's a 1-0 Canada lead.
Shen tied with Alexander Ovechkin and Nikita Kucherov for the NHL lead in power play goals.
Simmons was next at 16. The Flyers power play very dangerous, but the key was when they scissored back to position, that opened up Shen in the high slot but Simmons, the best net front player in the NHL, keeps that play alive, and Canada gets the lead.
Shots are 17-8 in favor of Canada. Vlasic ties up Mathis Olim, pulls it in, and now Vlasic taken down. And a penalty coming to Norway here shortly after Canada scored. Mathis Olim will go off.
It's certainly not any part of the playbook for Norway. They take a penalty, give up a power play goal next shift. Their best line's on the ice. They turn it over, and they take another one here. So for almost 17 and a half minutes, this game is scoreless, albeit with a disallowed goal.
And a penalty shot.
Norway has a chance to fall behind 2 here in the last 2.5 minutes of the period.
Simmons draws the only assist on the goal by Shen.
Somebody shot it from the point.
Yeah, Chris Lee, if Lee gets an assist for that, that'd be points and 3 straight for Lee since being added to the Canadian lineup. Shifley now in for the draw. And O'Reilly pokes it back for Parayko across to Marner. Marner swings it rink wide. Settled down by McKinnon. Back to Parayko to McKinnon. Works in, waits, drops it down to the goal line. Shifley. Drops it back to McKinnon. McKinnon trying to find someone in front, playing pitch and catch there with O'Reilly. Goes back to the point instead to Parayko. Parayko, a wrist shot, scores! Colton Parayko with a bullet through traffic. A power play goal to make it 2-0.
Now 8 power play goals for Canada. Back-to-back penalties, back-to-back power play goals. Colton Parayko gets his first goal for Canada. He too playing in his first international event. Parayko takes the pass from McKinnon and zips this by Hochland through the Mark Shifley screen. Early in the year, Parayko was breaking sticks like crazy, and he softened the flex so the sticks don't crater so easily. Didn't take anything away from his shot, but now they stay in one piece a little more often, which was really a problem for him early in the year.
Native of St. Albert, Alberta. It's his first international competition for Canada, but not his first international competition. Played for Team North America in the World Cup of Hockey. Now connecting. Drops it back for DeHaan. Calvin DeHaan works in. Final minute now of the period. Point for Connecting. In comes Connecting now. Feeds it back to the point for Demers. Off the top to point, right on the blue line. In comes Demers. Walks it in, shoots. And Hochland makes the stop and hangs on.
There's the first penalty by Olim as he cross-checks the player into the ice. Then Olim comes out of the penalty box and pulls down Vlasic. So a tough minute and a half for Mathis Olim. Takes 2 minor penalties. Both times Canada burns the Norwegians, and it's 2-0.
Off the draw, Simmons back to Parayko. Now Vlasic with a long shot. Hochland punched that away. Now a quick rebound chance for O'Reilly, turned away again by Hochland, and a penalty coming now.
It's going to go to Simmons. He has his left hand in the face of Ken-Andre Olim.
32 seconds to go in the period.
Team Canada, player number 17, 2 minutes for roughing.
Watch the left hand of Simmons get his glove up into the face of Olim for a while, and eventually the penalty's called.
That's how they say hello in Philadelphia. So Norway to the power play here. As Parayko picks up a loose puck and risks that down the ice. And Thoresen goes racing to the loose puck. In comes Thoresen across the line, picked off by Vlasic. Spins and tries to clear that. It bounces up along the boards. O'Reilly reaching for it. Mathis Olim drops it back to Ken Olim. And Olin moves to the corner. Final seconds now. The rink-wide pass goes astray. O'Reilly plays it out. Norway will have 1 minute and 28 seconds of power play time to carry over into the second period. Canada leads on a pair of power play goals by a score of 2-0. Our first intermission coming up on TSN's coverage of the 2017 World Hockey Championship.
La frappe, il est enregistré à 144 km. Allez, on va voir un coup d'œil aussi sur les stats de ce premier tiers-temps. Vous voyez le Canada a marqué ses 2 premiers buts. Des tirs, 20 tirs de frappe contre 8 pour les Anglais. Et 18 faits face à 8 égalités concernant le but des pénalités.
As you can see, 2 goals for Canada versus Norway. No goal in this first period. It's 21 shots on goal against 8 for Norway. And face off on Canada with 18 against 8 minutes. See you very soon. You'll see you back in less than 8 minutes. And now for more surprises.
C'est plus qu'une simple mission. C'est un vrai devoir. Ce sont des hommes à travers les journées. C'est un sentiment de fierté. C'est un engagement sans limite. C'est l'esprit d'équipe.
Upon video review, the net was displaced before the puck went in. No goal. Gold.
Men now realize the limits of their themselves. Living on energy, superfast absorbing and not increasing. Man, this is your crew. Living on, it starts with you.
And now it's your turn to take a selfie with asterisks and obelisks. Post it on social media using the hashtag IIHF. This will enter you a chance to win your own official 2017 IIHF World Championship mascot.
Et ben, c'est bon, et en fait, c'était... Non, c'est quoi? Non, je t'explique. En fait, pardon, on fait la partie, mais j'ai dit saluer tout à l'heure nos amis norvégiens qui m'ont coûté de m'accueillir chez eux. Et je me dis, ça c'est super bien, que je me fasse aussi un petit peu de Canada.
C'est pas mal, les
gens. Pour une cabane.
Ouais. Et pour le moment, on a quand même encore les championnats du monde à aller.
Ah, pardon, excuse-moi, j'ai oublié ça.
He will be back, don't worry, he will be back. Ok, trêve de plaisanterie, on va vous parler de beaucoup plus sérieux, c'est juste un programme officiel pour dire que vous étiez là, vous tous, vous étiez là, you were there, here at the 2017 Ice Hockey World Championship at the IIHF program. Everywhere, in all the big seats, everywhere around the arena, you can go buy all the merchandise, the athletes and the leagues, also the caps, the jerseys, the scarves, everything to say that you were there with us during the Ice Hockey World Championships. Okay, girls?
Absolument, vous pouvez acheter le programme officiel qui vous permet de découvrir toutes les informations inhérentes à ce championnat du monde de hockey, mais aussi de découvrir les goodies inhérents à cette compétition avec les mini SLX, mini Obélix, entre autres, et tous les souvenirs inhérents à cette compétition qu'on vous invite à découvrir dans les boutiques situées autour de l'aréna.
On a une autre info très importante. Si vous êtes là pour le match de ce soir, la France contre la Slovénie, si vous avez un ticket, vous devez vous rendre quand vous sortez par la porte C. Et là, du coup, vous pourrez revenir sans faire la queue. If you have a ticket for tonight, the game France Slovenia, you have to go to door C and you'll be able to come back to the arena without doing the queue. If you don't want to miss it, of course, you can still buy the ticket online, ou alors, or also in the official boutiques, right?
C'est exactement ça, donc vous n'hésitez pas. Et puis, le cas échéant, il faut être, comme c'était à l'image de l'équipe de France.
Oh,
mais c'est sympa, l'économie. Oh, on est bien. Alors, finalement, on est dans la bonhomie, dans la joie d'être ensemble, mais il y a peut-être aussi, dans les repas de l'honneur, envie de communiquer sur cet événement. En France, pour cela, prétend avec des anecdotes sur la pression. Et on va les découvrir tout de suite en français. parler du Canada, c'est un numéro lors des championnats du monde qui furent organisés là-bas en 2008. Les joueurs de l'équipe de France portèrent momentanément la présentation pour la Russie une réplique du maillot des Jeux Olympiques d'hiver de Grenoble en 1968, histoire de se rappeler que c'était.
Merci beaucoup, Eric. Let's do a little digital quiz in English right now. As you were saying, Eric, to be able to brag about everything you know about ice hockey. And I want to talk about someone that was there a few days ago to support the French team. It's Fabrice Lambie. He holds the absolute record of longevity in the position of goaltender of France's senior team. The famous goalie was selected for this strategic position for 22 years in all between 91 and 2013. And he is followed in this ranking by his faithful teammate Cristobal Huet, who is actually playing his last game tonight. So we will be able to make a big honor for this amazing legend. And he has been there for 17 years and tonight is his last game.
Tu as raison de parler de on en parlera tout à l'heure. On a une surprise. Bref, restez avec nous, c'est très important de profiter pleinement de sa présence encore sur la glace tout à l'heure. Et puis, Fabrice Lambie, détient le record absolu. C'est ça, c'est la chose qu'on découvre pour dire que on pose le gardien de but de l'équipe de France senior. Le célèbre a été sélectionné à ce poste stratégique pendant 22 ans, au total entre 1991 et voilà, c'est pour ça qu'il est suivi. Ça va être extrêmement vite finalement. 17 ans de présence, vous vous rendez compte, si tout le monde pouvait être comme ça montre le talent aussi et l'abnégation de ce jeu.
Et justement, Cristobal Huet, je tiens à vous le dire en anglais, on va lui faire un très grand honneur ce soir pour son match. Je crois que, écoute, on est à 3 minutes 23 exactement avant la reprise de ce match. Voilà, la deuxième période. Le match qui est donc mené 2-0 par le Canada. Est-ce qu'on danse un petit peu? Didier, qu'est-ce que vous avez dit? Nous, on va danser un petit peu pour les gens et faire un petit peu de sport à notre tour. Qu'est-ce qu'on pense?
Mais je pense que c'est une excellente idée. Alors, vous n'hésitez pas à bouger avec les mains, à lever les bras, à lever les jambes, à faire tout ce qu'il faut pour qu'on puisse aussi monter cette ambiance.
Il y a l'ambiance de l'équipe du Blue là-bas, faites du bruit!
Simmons has a minute and 28 seconds to serve on his roughing penalty, so Norway starts the second period on the power play. Canada struck twice on the man advantage in the opening period, including a goal from 23-year-old Colton Parayko to take a 2-0 lead. There's Andreas Martinson, who was traded by the Avalanche to Montreal late in the year. And Ryan O'Reilly was traded a couple years ago by the Avalanche to the Buffalo Sabres.
O'Reilly picked up his first assist of the tournament in the first period, but he's had an excellent tournament for Canada. I think he's been their best player game to game to game.
Now off the face-off, slides out ahead to point on the penalty kill. The centering pass just missed O'Reilly. O'Reilly back on it. This in the corner, Patrick Thoresen now slides it across to the captain, Jonas Holos. Plays for Färjestad in the Swedish league. A lot of these Norwegian players play outside their country, encouraged to do so by their team management. They want their players to get better, play better levels of competition. Holos up ahead for Thoresen, who fires it down. You think about the year that Norway had, earning Olympic qualification back in September. Matt Zuccarello played in that tournament for Norway, then played the World Cup for Team Europe, went to the final, but the training camp for the Rangers, led them in scoring, and played 2 rounds of the playoffs for them. Mark-Edward Vlasic moves in. Vlasic led all players with 4 shots in the first period. And takes some time off that penalty as he throws it back in the corner.
He also drew the second Norwegian penalty of those back-to-back calls that led to the Parayko power play goal.
And now Johansson can't hold the line. An offside call against Norway 14 seconds ago in the Simmons penalty.
For a team that doesn't score a whole lot, their power play hasn't helped them much at all. 5-on-5 scoring is always going to be a challenge for a country like Norway that doesn't have a lot of offensive depth. So you have to try and get something from your power play. You have to be as creative with it as you possibly can, but they've got just 3 goals in the tournament. And when you play one of the big boys like Canada, you need some help from your special teams, and they certainly haven't had it in the first 22 minutes today. 2 power play goals against and a power play that's been scuffed twice.
Simmons steps back on and gets right into play there as Von Saxon plays it around. One shot for Norway on the power play. That was at the end of the first period. Now Simmons centers it, can't find Giroux. And Demers tried to poke that free, but Roseli Olsen gets in behind him. That's Roseli Olsen now. In with Roymark, but the pass was sealed there by Giroux. Bastiansen plays it back at the point. And Spain's shot is blocked as Giroux, trailing now, moves off on a change and now played across to Spain. Through the middle, chip down. And Christian Forsberg can't quite reach it. Reichenberg got it knocked away there by DeHaan. Calvin DeHaan still digging for it. And now Martinson plays it back at the point for Spain. Reichenberg throws that down. DeHaan spins back, and Calvin DeHaan finds Skinner quickly ahead for McKinnon. In comes Nathan McKinnon. Move there on Von Saxon. Plays it behind the goal now for Skinner. Jeff Skinner gets loose. Centers it. Scheifele a chance. He hammered that high, and Scheifele looks to the rafters. Matheson keeps it alive. Down low for Scheifele. His centering pass bounced by everyone. Martinson knocks it down, but McKinnon grabs it back for Canada. And Martinson recorrals the bouncing puck off Matheson and back down the ice. Josh Morrissey up ahead for Braden Point. Rink wide, he goes for Matheson. Mike Matheson in, shoots! And the save is made by Hoekkonen.
Canada continues to dominate the game territorially, where Norway will make a small foray up the ice. The puck's turned over and back it comes the other way, and it stays in this half of the ice. John Cooper completely revamped 3 of his 4 lines again today.
Again, this one untouched. Marner, Konechny, and Point.
Interesting that Marner's taken all the face-offs on this line. Point is the centerman. He's not taken any today. Marner wins that to the sideboards. Konechny plays it down. Now Point digging for it.
Olsen trying to seal the wall, but it's knocked out there by Valkve Olsen. Brought in now by Marner. Mitch Marner pivots back. Snaps that pass rink wide to Morrissey. And Josh Morrissey gloved that ahead. The Norwegians play it, so the glove pass waved off. Polos. You watch there by Konechny. And now Norstabo is flushed back. Stolen by Marner. Pokes it back in front. Bouncing puck and a rebound. Konechny a backhand shot. Stopped there by Hookland. Valkve Olsen plays it on the center ice, and Mike Matheson whips it across for Josh Morrissey. Morrissey, a lead pass for Marner. Canada closes out the preliminary round tomorrow against Finland. Norway will take on Belarus, but a regulation loss for Norway today, and they will not make the quarterfinals. The regulation win for Canada guarantees them first place in Group B. Away comes Alice Killorn, walks in, Killorn centers it, and that pass was knocked away from Matt Duchesne on the defensive play by Ken Olam. Now a shot by Killorn, and again, Oakland makes the stop. Back at the point, Parayko for Vlasic. It goes off the end board, skipped away from Duchesne, and now in comes Parayko with a shot, and Oakland got just a piece of that. Vlasic down to Killorn for Duchesne. Matt Duchesne pivots off a check, tries to throw it back in front, picked off there by Johansson. Olam. Lead pass finds Simmons. In comes Wayne Simmons. Throws it back in front. Tipped wide of the goal by Giroux. At the point is Vlasic. His long shot. Tip Hookland makes the stop. And he hangs on.
This line has been really good for Canada. O'Reilly had a penalty shot that he missed. Simmons had a goal disallowed. Giroux's been all around the puck. As here he tips this puck just over the crossbar. I'd say the two combinations I've been impressed with for Canada would be this one and the one involving Matt Duchesne. Duchesne is out on the right wing with Couturier and Killorn. So you've got two really responsible players, and Duchesne's got his legs today. He's been all around the puck.
Long shot by Lee, drifts wide. Scooped up by Daniel Sorvik. Lee goes looking for it. Turns around Rosselli Olsen. And Simmons moves it away for Canada. Up ahead for Giroux. Claude Giroux comes steaming in. Giroux drops it back at the point for O'Reilly. And O'Reilly back for Giroux. Matheson now from the point. That goes off the leg of Odegaard. Kept alive by Lee. Simmons centers it. O'Reilly, a little back pass there for Giroux. Drop back for Matheson. That pass missed. Lee goes back and Roymark all over him. Now busting in is McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon, the backhand shot. That goes just wide. Skinner on it now. And moved ahead by the Norwegians as Reichenberg trying to play that ahead. Knocked down. Now a chance for Scheifele. Works in and shoots. He whistled that wide. DeHaan. Lost the puck to Christian Forsberg, who plays it across for Sorvik. Now DeHaan knocks down that shoot in. And McKinnon plays it across for Demers. Crisp pass ahead, finds McKinnon. Busting in is Nate McKinnon. Works across the top, drops it back. Demers backhands that down. Skinner, a quick chance. Rebound, turned away as well. Oakland makes two saves in tight on Jeff Skinner. Scheifele has it bounce away, and Reichenberg gathers it up and fires that down to the Canadian zone. Both teams changing as Marc-Edouard Vlasic has lots of room to roam. Vlasic jumps in across the line, walks in and shoots, and Hookland knocks that up and out of play. 12:25 to go here in period number 2. Canada with a 2-0 lead.
Beaucoup de place. Non, mais ne fâche pas, c'est une bonne nouvelle. Alors, on va solliciter toute la tribune. Ne vous inquiétez pas pour ceux qui ne parlent pas français, il y a 2-3, je le sais. Voilà, ça va. Onyx,
pressure continues on the Norwegian bench. Their hopes of advancing to the final 8 in this World Championship hanging in the balance here in a 2-0 deficit to Canada.
The problem is they understand the desperation, and you can do all you can. The problem is they can't control the puck enough to make anything happen offensively. So if they get a chance, you've got to score. You've had 2 power plays. You've got to score on them. That's just the way it is when you play a team like Canada if you're a country like Norway.
Another chance for Marner there. Norway's best finish of late 8th in 2012. Did qualify for the last 2 Olympic Games in Vancouver and Sochi, so they'll go for the 3rd consecutive games to Pyeongchang.
In each of the last 2 years, Norway has won. In each of the last 3 years, rather, Norway has won 2 games. They've won 2 games again this year. That seems to be where where their ceiling is. However, a win tomorrow, if that's the case, against Belarus, which would be a really competitive game, that gives them 3 wins. So they would look at it, while disappointing, as a decent tournament for them.
Now Marner plays it down to Morrissey. Played the Czechs in a tight game. Lost that 1-0 in overtime. Now Shen lays it across to Morrissey. Josh Morrissey works it right back in front. Poke check there. And Shen plays it back.
Shen on this line instead of Point. Remember just talking a moment ago about Point not taking any face-offs. Something to keep an eye on.
In comes Konechny, now holds and shoots that deflected wide. Here's Konechny with it. Point still on the Canadian bench as Morrissey plays it around. Picked up by Couturier. Sean Couturier down to Marner. A centering pass. Killorn with a chance. Didn't get all of it. And Hopeland got the rest.
At times here, this looks like a cycling drill for Canada as Couturier does excellent work behind the net to keep the puck alive. And Killorn gets his pass a little deep in his feet. He wants to get this puck out front of his feet more so he can get more on it. This one is deep in his feet and he just sort of shovels it towards the net.
Off the face-off, controlled by Sorvik. Up ahead for Thoresen. Puck batted into the Norwegian bench. Norway best known for winter sports like speed skating. Johan Olaf Koss, a native of that country, and cross-country skiing, where Norway is a world powerhouse. Ski jumping as well. Now Vlasic snaps that pass ahead, finds Killorn. Alex Killorn in a rolling puck, never got it to sit for him and couldn't get a shot away. Couturier back to Perigo, a long shot, and Hopeland punches that away. Now Mathis Oldham works in, and we've got offsetting penalties here. It'll be Sorvik who goes off for Norway and Killorn for Canada.
Killorn just said, "What did I do?" As he gets dumped by Sorvik pretty hard there. That probably was it there. Vlasic, terrific pass out front to Killorn, and the puck starts to bobble on him, and he can't dig it out of his feet to shovel it towards the net. That leads to the chop fest with Sorvik, and they're both sitting in the box for 2 minutes. Norway without a shot in the first 9.5 minutes of this period.
In comes DeHaan now in the 4-on-4. Giroux pokes it around for O'Reilly. Glove down by Ryan O'Reilly. Plays it back to Mercer. The chance. Hopeland makes the save. Now back to defend is Giroux. Picks it off from Marceli Olsen and quickly moves it ahead to O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly flips it across for Giroux. Canada changing as Morrissey comes on, and Claude Giroux works it in. Well, backhand pass there for DeHaan, crisscrossing with Morrissey. Josh Morrissey, the Winnipeg Jets. Had that stripped away, still in the forecheck. Holos picks it up. Moved ahead by Norstabo. Picked off there by McKinnon. Under 10 to go here in the second period. Canada with a 2-0 lead and a pair of power play goals. Braden Shen and Colton Parayko have scored.
Power play goals were 54 seconds apart.
DeHaan up ahead to McKinnon. In comes Nathan McKinnon. Walks in, drops it back for Skinner. Crisscrossing now with McKinnon. And McKinnon down to Skinner, who tipped that wide. Vlasic, long wrist shot. And Hoagland makes the stop. And now Alex Bonsaxon gets angry. Starts cross-checking McKinnon.
Canada continues to have the puck most of the time. You can see a little bit of the frustrations bubbling up here as Peter Thoreson's trying to implore his team to up their energy level here. Get to the puck a little quicker. No point hanging back on your heels and be worried about being scored upon. You need goals. You need to get yourself back in the game. They've got no shots this period.
Now Parayko feeds it down to Scheifele. Mark Scheifele in for Parayko with some room. Colton Parayko centers it, shin bats at it, knocked it wide. Parayko back with it. Colton Parayko right back in front, drops it back. Scheifele hammers that. Hoagland got a piece, and Scheifele looks to the Raptors again, wondering if he'll ever score. Parayko down to Scheifele, back to 5-on-5, centered for Shen. And the puck taken away by Reichenberg. Scheifele back for it. And now Parayko tips that back in to the Norwegian bench.
Here's the latest chance for Mark Scheifele as Colton Parayko hangs on to the puck. Rather, this Braden Shen first. Shen whiffs on that at the goal post. This is a nice little dish by Parayko. It hits Shen in the foot, and then he can't get the puck to settle down to the crease again. Pretty good work by Thoreson to have his stick right on top of Shen's as he tries to direct that into the net.
Denmark and Italy are scoreless after 2 periods of play in Cologne. Italians with very slender chances of surviving in the next year's tournament. The 2 promoted teams, Slovenia and Italy this year. Slovenia is already relegated. Italy hanging by a thread. In comes Point back out there for Canada. Drops it back for Matheson. Konechny back on it. Travis Konechny leaves it down there for Marner. Mitch Marner turns that over as Valkve Olsen moves in now for Norway. Puck loose in the corner. And Bastiansen comes in for it. Now Marner takes it back. And Mitch Marner regains his footing and moves it out for Canada. Away comes Marner. Across to Matheson, who fires that down to the Norwegian zone. Hoagland followed it for a moment. Now plays it across for Norstabo. Polos moves ahead now for Norway and across the line. Feeds that around. Demers on it. Skips by everyone. And now a race for it as Killorn comes in and Hoagland forced out to play it. Polos had that clearing attempt knocked down. And Norstabo has it back. Almost stripped there by Couturier.
He's not shy to hang on to the puck.
And finally moves up to center ice where Demers picks it off for DeHaan.
Norstabo just 21 years old. By far the most mobile puck mover on the blue line.
Demers steps into Trentinez and now Duchesne takes the return pass from Couturier. In comes Matt Duchesne. Duchesne trying to play that back in front, broken up by Johansson. And Johansson skates away from Duchesne. The lead pass from Martinson. And Martinson's shot was blocked there by Vlasic. Andreas Martinson back on it. Feeds it back at the point. That shot taken by Bonsaxon was blocked. Mathis Olam has it back. And looks down to Martinson. His centering pass. But the intended target, Thoreson, was knocked down there by DeHaan. Back at the point, some pressure now by Norway, and Bonsaxon with a long shot. And the first shot of the period is turned away by Chad Johnson. 2-0 Canada leads here in the second period at the 2017 World Championship.
dame, parce qu'on va faire une émoticam. Alors, elle parle parfaitement comme moi, donc elle a tout compris, elle a mis tout le temps, elle est juste géniale. C'est marrant, regardez, voici. Vraiment une boulette de visage à vous, de vous identifier à cette cabaret et la reproduire. C'est parti, regardez, je commence avec ma sœur. Allez, envoyez-moi s'il vous plaît l'émoticam. On y va? Are you ready to start? Ok. Alors on dit qu'on ne l'a pas, donc on va faire mieux, on va faire rien. Non, je présente, mesdames, messieurs, on va avoir le plaisir de danser. Are you ready? Permet un different with Emotica. Faites péter le son, on va bouger ensemble, mesdames, messieurs, cheer to the men's royal. Come on, stand up, and dance with me.
First of two here today in Paris. Later on tonight, the host French will take on Slovenia, closing out their preliminary round. France will not advance to the quarterfinals. And by the way, the IOC's venue inspectors are here this week, examining facilities in advance of the bid for Paris for the 2024 Summer Olympics. O'Reilly works it across the line for Canada. Under 6 to go here in the second period. Now moved ahead to Mathis Olam. Mathis Olam played for London and Sarnia in the Ontario Hockey League in 04-05. And played 1 year for Rockford a few years later in the American Hockey League, but has played mostly in Europe. Moved around, back to the point is Daniel Sorvik. Back in the corner, Ken Olam. Crisscrossing with his brother Mathis. And now O'Reilly takes it away and finds Simmons. Wayne Simmons works in. Drops it back, walking in. Giroux with a quick shot. It dribbled through Hoagland, and a goal is saved there by Daniel Sorvik, who pulls it off the goal line and fires it away.
There's that line again with another scoring chances. Claude Giroux's going to get to walk into this. He tees it up and zings this under the arm of Hoagland. And an inch or so from the goal line is Daniel Sorvik to keep this game 2-0. He ends up zipping this into the Canadian bench. That close to 3-0.
Giroux's arguing the puck wound up in the crowd. McKinnon plays it back to Morrissey. Skinner has that pass go off a skate. Now Mathis a shot, bounce around in front. Shifley scores! Mark Shifley taps it home. His first of this World Championship, and it's 3-0 Canada.
Shifley starts with a face-off win, and McKinnon keeps the puck alive. Now all 5 guys are going to end up touching the puck. It's just a little shovel shot by Mike Matheson that gets through the Norwegian defense. Oh, it's deflected by Tretinez that gives no chance for the goaltender Hoagland to make the stop. Tretinez is trying to help. He ends up deflecting it back at his goaltender. Shifley's going to be able to push this into the empty net easily, and a well-deserved 3-0 Canadian lead.
Now knocked down by McKinnon, but the play's offside at the Norwegian line. So Mark Shifley won a gold medal with Canada last year at the World Championship. Scored 4 goals in 9 games last year. It's his first of this tournament.
Shifley's in 4 years gone from 34 to 82 points. I remember when we were talking to Dale Howardchuk before his first World Junior Tournament about the development of Shifley and saying this guy has all the tools and all the look of a #1 center. Howardchuk would know, as he had a Hall of Fame career mostly in Winnipeg, but he's right about Shifley. That's a really terrific young player. He's got a motor, he's driven, he's physical, he can really shoot the puck, and he's good news for Canada. He's on the board here.
Now Skinner centers it, just missed McKinnon with that pass. McKinnon goes back to Matheson. Matheson's shot deflected away by Martinson, and now Matheson has it back at center ice.
(14-1) for the shots in this period. There's
Vlasic just missed.
another chance for Vlasic. Vlasic's been up in the play a little bit today. Had 4 shots in the first period.
Now Vlasic ahead for Point. In comes Braden Point now. Teams around Thorson, drops it back, and that pass just missed. Vlasic up to the far blue line, connecting to Point, tips it across to Marner. In comes Marner, drops for the trailer. Demers throws it right back in the corner for Marner. Pokes that down to Point. And now Rook puts it over the glass, and that will be a penalty on Norway as Nicholas Roos goes off for delay of game with 3:28 to go in the second.
Canada's 2 for 2 on the power play. Roos airmails this into the stands, and Canada will come back to the power play.
Song. Petter Thoresen behind the Norwegian bench. Support from Roy Johansson, who coached Norway for the last 15 years. He's a mainstay for that team. So was defenseman Tommy Jakobsen, who played in 13 World Championships for Norway. Chris Lee plays it back. Skinner a hard shot. It goes off the end boards. They battle away for it. Simmons taken down. Skinner has it back. Skinner back for Lee. Lee feeds it down for Giroux. Once again, Simmons standing in front. Schenn with a shot. A chance at the side of the goal for Skinner. Put it right through the crease. And Giroux plays it back now. Lee winds and fires. A bullet goes wide. It's played away by Sorvin. A chance there for Jeff Skinner. Rolled that right through the crease. Now the line held by Lee. Fires that wide to the goal. And it's moved out by Sorvin. Giroux to Lee, ahead for Schenn. Braden Schenn, who has a power play goal so far this afternoon, back for Skinner, in shoots. Rolled off his stick, didn't get all of it. Now Schenn has it back. Schenn works it free. Walks in, Braden Schenn plays it across. Giroux, a little slap pass there. And now brought out by Rosselli Olsen, working in on Lee. Rosselli Olsen falls, spins, and now Schenn has it back. Comes Marner. Trying to put that across. It's picked off by Forsberg. In comes Christian Forsberg working in, and Marner takes that away from him from behind.
That is such a smart play.
Scheifele works in. Mark Scheifele drops it back, and now Parayko. Marner across. He goes for McKinnon. Feeds it back at the point. Parayko winds and fires. Scores. Man, what a bomb from Colton Parayko. Whoa.
Standing dead still. Takes the puck on his weak side, pivots his hips, and powders it. 3 power play goals for Canada. And Parayko unleashes a cannon.
His second of the game, his first play was a wrist shot from the point.
Watch how he pivots, gone. He takes that puck from his weak side, changes his hips to get it into shooting position, and that is what a big man can do. He leans forward through the momentum of his shot. He's so strong, and the timing is perfect. And the little guys cheers. It's 4-0 on Canada's 3rd power play goal.
McKinnon and Marner draw the assists.
Couple assists for McKinnon today. But go back to the play before when Marner had lost the puck. He chases the Norwegian player down, and instead of slashing him in the pants to let him know he's there, he waits till he gets close enough, and he just deftly lifts his stick, doesn't take a hooking penalty, and up the ice they go and score.
Now Duchesne with a rolling puck moves it in. Duchesne slides it back at the point for Demers. Has a look and shoots. And that was blocked by Norstebo in front. Picked up by Duchesne. Final minute now in the second period. Duchesne works it back in front, shoots. And Hoagland makes another save on Matt Duchesne, who's been all over things today.
Another look at the goal. Marner goes cross ice to McKinnon. The Norwegians are deep in their penalty kill set. Forsberg's not able to get out high enough. He makes an attempt to block it, but this goes right over the blocker of Hoagland. Parayko beat him on the glove side with the wrister. The blocker with the slapper. He's got a couple.
Russians lead the tournament right at 10 for 19 on the power play. Canada now 9 for 19.
It's a nice weapon to have back at the point, isn't it? Oh. Now they lost Tyson Barrie, and right when Barrie was injured in an off-ice accident, Parayko had flown into town virtually on the same day. He didn't play that first day. He's getting acclimatized with the time change and such, but now in his second game here for Canada, and he's shown his obvious abilities here.
And has scored 5 goals in his first 14 NHL games. DeHaan now with a shot that deflects off a stick. High in the air, DeHaan shoots it again. Hoagland's on the last second, knocked that away. Picked out now by Schenn. He spins and fires. Hoagland save. Konechny and shoots. Hit the goal post. Back comes DeHaan. He wired that wide. A shooting gallery now for Canada. Shots are 17-1 here in the period. Now DeHaan lifts that wide. Time winding down the line, held by Schenn. Feeds across for DeHaan. Calvin DeHaan. Canada leading 4-0 here. And the centering pass finally knocked down and moved out by Rosselli Olsen. Long shoot in by Martinson. That might count as a late shot at the end of the period for Norway. But it's decidedly Canada here. A 4-0 lead in the strength of 3 power play goals after 2 periods of play, and Konechny almost made it more. Hit the pipe right at the end of the period.
Right now, 2 goals scored in the second period for Canada. Technically better for Canada, 17 against 2. Face off 1, 15 for Canada against 5 Norway. See, very soon, less than 15 minutes. Vous savez quoi les amis? Vous avez bien fait de mettre les couleurs de votre pays avec les drapeaux, les drapeaux sans visage, les couleurs, etc. Parce que les caméras étaient absolument partout autour de l'aréna avant de rentrer. On vous a pris en photo, on vous a pris en image, on vous a fait un petit montage pendant les premières périodes de ce match. Vous allez peut-être vous reconnaître dans les grands écrans. You guys, you did good to put the colors on your countries all over yourselves and to cheer on for your teams inside of the arena because we did a special edit. Maybe you are in the big screens. Check it out. Eh bien, vous étiez absolument magnifique, fabuleux. Vous avez bien fait, en tout cas, de vous maquiller et téléviser pour l'occasion. On adore ce genre de match. Nous, évidemment, on est là 1h30 avant le match, on ne voit pas tout ça. Donc, vous avez évidemment bien fait. You did good to do this because we love to see you, of course, in this edit that we do every day.
Moi, je voulais être habillé en canard au début, donc on est obligé d'avoir une tenue un peu correcte.
Mais pourquoi es-tu demain tout de suite moi normalement dans
Parce que tu fais 35 cm de plus que moi, tout simplement. Tout s'explique.
Là, regarde avec la perspective, c'est un peu la même taille.
Regarde.
C'est
Qu'est-ce que c'est bien.
Eh bien, c'est encore mieux.
Un mot sur ce qui se passe en Allemagne, on l'a dit tout à l'heure, c'était Thierry de bonheur. Simultanément, les matchs se déroulent à Cologne. Il y a notamment aujourd'hui un Italie-Danemark, enfin Danemark-Italie d'ailleurs. Et pour l'instant, c'est 0-0. Là-bas, on peut bien sûr des évolutions.
As you know, of course, the championship is in both countries here in France, but also in Germany. And at the same time, we have Denmark versus Italy. And for the moment, it's 0-0. So they might go in overtime because they're also starting their third period. We have a bit of time to give you details about the official program that you can buy in person of the official boutiques if you want to have this souvenir at home to say that you were there with us during the 2017 Ice Hockey World Championship all together here in Paris. But you can also buy, of course, the jerseys, the caps, the t-shirts, and everything. They are open all around the arena. And the if you have a ticket, of course, for tonight's day in France Arena, you have to go door C. Allez, je passe le mot en français.
Très bien, non, mais je voulais juste, parce que je faisais ça finalement, pour dire que si vous êtes avec nous jusqu'au bout de la nuit, jusqu'à la fin du match de l'équipe de France, c'est par la porte C qu'il faudra passer. Je sais qu'on pose souvent les questions, donc n'hésitez pas, s'il vous plaît, à être attentif à ce moment-là. Vous allez par la porte C patienter avant de revenir pour l'équipe de France.
Attends, on va voir si vous êtes attentifs. On sort par quelle porte alors? Porte C, c'est ce qu'on vient de dire. Non, je te charrie. Je suis sûre que tu viens pour l'équipe de France ou pas? Ah bah évidemment, en fait, il faut que tu sortes porte C, petit chat.
Regardez la dimension maintenant. Alors, on a une biscactrice du cyclo. On est bonne idée. C'est quoi ça? Sandy, parce que un petit gamin comme ça, un petit jeune, c'est pas péjoratif, on va faire quelque chose. Puisque vous êtes très nombreux finalement à être mineurs, un peu comme moi, on va proposer de faire les grands contre les petits au niveau de l'enregistrement du son. C'est-à-dire qu'on va vous demander à tous ceux qui ont moins de 18 ans, donc avec moi, de faire du bruit, et ensuite, et après ceux qui sont bien majeurs et de loin, d'en faire autant pour voir ceux qui mettent le plus en bien.
Ouais, on va leur dire en anglais.
Allez.
Tout le monde peut jouer ensemble. On a évidemment un challenge qu'on fait depuis le début de cette compétition. Et je le fais en français. Non, ça va. Je switch mon cerveau en anglais. Pardon. We have challenged you guys, all the fans, of course, since the beginning of this competition to make the most noise inside the arena, okay? And today, because there's loads of kids here in the arena, we want to do the kids versus the adults, okay? Donc, you want to see Tom, less than 18, you're going to be screaming with him, Eric, and c'est quoi ton petit? Hugo, and I will be screaming with the adults, okay? We'll see who makes the most noise, okay? On your count.
Alors on va démarrer. Alors pour tous ceux qui ont moins de 18 ans comme moi, ok, tout le monde là-bas, je veux faire en plus de bruit, maximum de bruit, et j'offre une glace à tous ceux qui font. Non, je plaisante. Alors attention, allez, vous êtes prêts? T'es prêt Hugo? Tu lâches tout, hein? Vous êtes prêts là-bas? 1, 2, 3, du bruit!
Now we're going to do the adults, okay? You ne faites pas de bruit, les enfants, vous ne faites pas de bruit. The adults, on my count. 3, 2, 1, make some noise! Et ben, 77 décibels. Bravo les adultes.
Alors perso, je trouve ça un peu moyen, et je suis persuadé qu'il ne reste pas 2 minutes. Ça serait bien qu'on unisse les forces de chacun. Voilà, all together, c'est les deux mots qui sont bien connus. Mesdames, messieurs, pour tous les jeunes, Hugo, qu'est-ce que c'est un peu
Non, mets-toi au milieu de nous comme on fait tous ensemble. Voilà, regarde, mets-toi. Voilà, Hugo. T'aurais jamais dû t'asseoir avec le deux.
Hugo, t'es prêt?
Et vous sortez le porte pour tousser. Allez, on va all together, you guys.
T'es prêt tout le monde? Toute la salle. 3, 2, 1, partez!
En tout cas, voilà, troisième période. On va faire beaucoup de bruit. And fans from Norway, make some noise!
Le retour des deux équipes sont là dans quelques instants. On redémarre pour ce point.
The prospects for Norway are getting dim. They need to somehow accumulate 4 points their last 2 games. They need at least one year against Canada, but down 4-0 after 2 periods of play. Colton Parikko has scored twice. 2 different power play goals, a wrist shot that found its way through the traffic, and then a slap shot that almost went through the back of the net. Canada with a 4-0 lead, a regulation win today, clinches first place in Group B for Canada. And then they play Finland tomorrow. And while they're playing the Finns, Latvia will take on Germany in the game that will likely decide 4th place in Group A. If Germany finishes 4th, Canada would go to Cologne to play the quarterfinal because the Germans will play their quarterfinal in Cologne regardless. Otherwise, Canada would stay here, play in Paris, and then if they win their quarterfinal on Thursday, head to Cologne for the weekend. Semifinals are on Saturday. The bronze and gold medal games are on Sunday. Jean Couturier plays out ahead. Canada has won the last 2 gold medals at the World Championship. And that's played down the ice, an icing call against Norway.
A well-deserved 40-minute lead for Canada. John Cooper wanted his team to come out and be aggressive and to control the play. Changed his lines for the 3rd game in a row, and they have to be pleased with the way this has looked so far. 40 shots on goal through 2 periods.
Matt Duchesne's had a strong period for a strong game for Canada. Nothing to show for it so far.
This is where the coaches will say, you just keep doing the right thing long enough, and eventually you'll get the results. It's hard when you're in the middle of it, when nothing's going your way, but Duchesne will get results if he's got the puck as much as he's had today.
Mathis Olam works in. Still a dogfight for second place in this Group B, and that's an important spot because the other side's pretty top-heavy with the U.S., Russia, and Sweden. The second-place team in the group could find itself playing Sweden. As the Hahn sends it across, Skinner a great chance and a pad save by Hoagland. Another chance for Skinner. And Hoagland gets the glove down and makes the stop. Jeff Skinner with another couple of chances.
Skinner has had a half a dozen chances today. He too has had a struggle the last couple of games where the puck hasn't gone for him. And he's had a busy time around the front of the net where in the first 2 periods he's had, I'm going to say 3 or 4 really, really good scoring chances. He had 5 shots. That's his 6th and 7th shot of the game here.
Now Skinner trying to sweep that to the front of the net. Skinner scored a career-high 37 goals for Carolina this year. Skinner playing for Canada in his 4th World Championship. Now a chance in front, tapped wide there by Jürgen Carterud. Norway kind of falling where it usually does in this tournament. As that puck gets chipped into the Canadian bench, but not relegated, not in danger of being relegated, but not quite close enough to a quarterfinal spot.
Just not able to hang with the better teams. They lost 1-0 in overtime to the Czechs and 3-2 to France in overtime, but just not enough for them. Not enough push, not enough depth.
Scraping for points, so they got the tying goal in that overtime loss to Finland with 29 seconds to go. And if they beat Belarus, it looks like they'll come up a point short of a quarterfinal spot. Matheson up ahead, poked in there by O'Reilly. The play called offside at the Norwegian line. Norway's never won a medal at the World Championship or the Olympic Games. 10th last year.
You look at some of the smaller nations that have been able to get themselves into an odd medal once in a while. The Swiss have done it with great goaltending. They can really defend well. They skate well. And Norway just doesn't have enough of that to get themselves into one of those lightning bolt scenarios where you get into a good quarterfinal matchup, then you're in the semis.
Now, to be fair, you put Matt Zuccarello in their lineup, they're probably a quarterfinal team.
Probably, and I guess that also does it not speak to how you lack depth.
Yeah.
Like the one player means so much to you. I mean, to a certain extent, Slovenia is here because of Andrzej Kopitar.
Right.
And not being available for the tournament or not being available for the Olympics. I mean, that's not even really the same team.
Best example, Norway and Slovenia both going to the Olympics thanks to Zuccarello and Kopitar. Now Konechny works in. Travis Konechny, poke check there by Sorvit. It is a bitter disappointment as Morrissey comes in and shoots a save made by Hoagland. Talking to the Norwegians that Zuccarello won't be able to play for them at the Olympics. It's as Marner comes in, they feel caught in the middle of a crossfire that they have nothing to do with.
100% they are. Yet their best players in the best league in the world.
Yep.
And so whether they say they have nothing to do with it or not, that player has something to do with it because he's in the NHL.
Solom plays that across. And you think about Norway at the Olympics where it's a shorter tournament and those lightning strikes can make all the difference. That's where a guy like Zuccarello would make all the difference for them.
You win the right games, put yourself into that mix to climb into a quarter. And once you get into the win and outs, everything's just a little different. What happens if your goalie has the game of his life? All of a sudden you're through to the semis.
Now a centering pass tapped line by Killorn, or the other team's doesn't. Shane centers it now. Couturier battling for it, and Thoresen has it back. Picked up now by Couturier. John Couturier drops it back for Killorn. Alex Killorn works across the top. Plays it back in the corner for Couturier. Pass for Killorn just out of his reach, knocked away by Holos. Now Duchesne back with it for Couturier. There was some talk in Norway about whether or not Zuccarello would join this team after the second round ended and the Rangers were knocked out, but the Norwegian management group said he's given us more than enough this year. Imagine that year.
Eventually, enough's enough for a player, right? Like there's no more, nothing left in the tank.
He left the Olympic qualification, went straight to training camp for Team Europe. They played in Washington, Quebec City, and I think it was Philadelphia, and then started the tournament, went to the final. Roymarker's shot that goes wide. And Skinner gathers up the loose puck, finds McKinnon. In comes Nate McKinnon, poke check there by Odegaard. Brought in now by Demers, but the play is offside at the Norwegian line.
Alex Killorn, another one of those players that's had all kinds of chances today. This is about the third one, though, that he's miscued. This one, he chips it into the corner. He just saw the highlight up on the board, and he's in the right spot. That line has been all over the net. It's not their day so far.
Problem with the skate of Henrik Hockelen. I didn't know people still use laces there.
I was just looking at that.
That's old school. Hockelen, we mentioned, played for Leksand in the Swedish League, didn't have a great year. Lost his starting job. Then they play a series in Sweden, which is really interesting. The top two teams in
it's
the
your favorite.
Well, no, they changed it, but I love the old one.
Okay.
But the old one was the bottom two teams in the Swedish Hockey League. The top four in the Allsvenskan played a round robin. That was wild. This is the bottom two teams in the Swedish League play off against the top two teams in the Allsvenskan. So Leksand, which is Hockland's team, played Mora. They're arch rivals. They're close together in Sweden. And Mora won the series to knock Leksand out of the Swedish Hockey League. Imagine, though, just picture, I don't know, who's the best team in the American Hockey League playing the bottom team in the NHL to see who gets to stay in the league the next year. The ratings for that in Sweden are as high as they are for playoff games.
Well, everybody loves, I think, the one and outs in any sport. When you get to a game 7,
right.
You have the elimination game. That stuff is always.
So it is a best of 7 series. And so Sjoberg has come into the net while they fix that pad. Stefan Sjoberg, the backup, plays for Valerenga Oslo in the Norwegian League. He's not yet played in this tournament.
Now they got 2 guys on the Norwegian bench working on this pad here.
Denmark has taken a 1-0 lead on Italy in the third period. In comes Martinsen with it now. Andreas Martinsen works in, shoots, it goes off a skate. And that'll result with all but do it for the Italians. There's 2 minutes to go there. The Italians have to score to tie it up. Denmark, by the way, can't be relegated. Copenhagen and Herning, Denmark, are the host cities in 2018 for the World Championship. Then Bratislava, Slovakia in 2019. And Zurich, Switzerland, 2020.
We get to go to some nice cities for this tournament, don't we?
Ooh. Knocked down at center ice by Matheson for Demers. Places that love hockey. It'll be interesting in Denmark next year to see how Sweden takes that thing over. A short train ride from Malmo, Sweden over to Copenhagen, and you got to think for the Swedish games, it'll be a Swedish home game. Matheson plays it around for O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly knocks that back. Parikko another shot. And now Giroux back with it. Gonna guess that Henrik Hokola and now Stefan Sjöberg haven't seen a shot like that in Sweden or in Norway.
Heavy, it's fast, of course, but it's heavy. The heavy shot's kind of a weird term because I don't even really know how to describe exactly what it is, but it sounds different. It hits the goalie different. It's like he shot a weighted puck in there.
Now a centering pass knocked away by Vlasic. Bouncing puck in front, kick towards the goal. Ken Holm a chance. That's turned away. Olaf Kolzig told me once that a heavy shot spins a lot. The guy that shoots it spins it hard, and it eats you up.
I don't know. I had a muffin, which is the third quality of shot.
4-0 Canada leads here in the third period. Henrik Hockland is back. They got that lace fixed, so he's back in the net for the Norwegians.
There's an empty net goal that you have to see. It's in the Italian game. You have to see this. Yes, it's an own goal.
What a way to go out.
That doesn't quite explain what we just witnessed.
2-0 Denmark there. That'll be it for Italy.
I can safely say I have never seen that before. Now, this year we did a game in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And Yuri Hudler from Dallas shot it into his own net from center as he was making a drop pass. That's minor league.
You'll see it, I'm assuming we'll have it in our post-game show.
And I'm sure that'll be an SC top 10 type of deal.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
You know, they say sometimes there's nowhere to hide. You're 4 feet from your net, you trip, stumble, and shoot it into your own net. That's a toughie.
So once again, the two teams promoted get relegated right away.
Tough to gain the momentum to get there and stick for a couple of years.
Brackenberg in, shoots, and Chad Johnson got a shoulder on that. Not sure they'll call that a shot on goal. Norway still doesn't have one this period with 11 to go. Fished out there by Holos. And Martinson has it back for Reichenberg. In comes Reichenberg, shoots, and that hit Mike Matheson up high and deflected wide. And Couturier has it back for Canada. Sent down in the Norwegian zone, and as Odegaard goes back, icing called against Canada.
Chad Johnson's going for a skate to get a little sweat on here if he can. I mean, he's been standing down at the Canadian end of the ice. This is 2 periods in a row where half the period goes by and he hasn't faced a shot. So since the end of the first period, he's faced 2 shots, and one of them was that little flip by Martinson right at the end of the second period.
Scheifele works in. Mark Scheifele with room now. scored his first goal of the tournament in the second period. Played back now to Lee. In comes Lee with a shot that deflected away. Now back at the point, Skinner. Cross he goes to McKinnon, back for Skinner. Under his stick now, Demers fires, Hockland save. McKinnon sends it back in front, and Skinner fired it wide. Jeff Skinner and Matt Duchesne have had 10 scoring chances if they've had one. In comes Lee again, swings that rink wide to Skinner. This time he's poke checked, and Demers has it back. Scheifele.
Remember before Scheifele scored, he had two where he ended up looking at the roof. He couldn't believe he missed them. And then he scored eventually in the end of the second period.
Scheifele swings it back for Demers. Off they go to Lee. Lee a hard pass in for Skinner. A backhand shot, pinballs around in front. And Bakve Olsen picks it up for Norway, but can't clear it out. Lee swings it across. Demers a hard shot, hook that makes the glove save with Skinner standing right on the doorstep.
There's another chance for Skinner. You mentioned the Parayko shot is stopped. Scheifele, or rather McKinnon, chips this to Jeff Skinner and he cues it wide of the net. Not that much fun when you can't score. You get lots of chances, it still doesn't make it that much fun.
You were no fun when you weren't scoring.
No, it's your job. So no matter what somebody tells you, oh, you're doing everything else right, you're like, yeah, good, but I can't score.
Well, you can always kill penalties, right?
Nope, didn't do that. Wasn't interested in that. Actually, I was just no good at it. You gotta know your lane.
You wanted to?
Well, if they would have asked, sure. I wasn't particularly enthused with blocking shots or anything like that.
In 18 years in the NHL, no one ever asked you to kill penalties.
No. The crazy part about that is my last year of junior, I got 15 shorthanded goals. But nobody asked, so the power play was just fine.
Vlasic knocks that wide. Here's Simmons with it now. Wayne Simmons knocks it back for Vlasic, who kicks that to the corner. Mark-Edward Vlasic leading Canada minutes played per game. As Brayden Point knocks that back. And now winds his way in. Point along with Konechny and Marner. In comes Brayden Point. Point has 3 goals in the tournament so far. Drops that back. It's picked off by Norstabo. Morrissey plays it across the point. In comes Brayden Point with it now. Into the corner for Konechny, and Holos has it back. Point. Lays it down. Holos tied up there by Marner. Now the loose puck bounced out to Carter-Root. And Marner came back to take that away from him. A couple of times Mitch Marner has reached back to pick a Norwegian pocket. Matheson. Up ahead for Duchesne. Drops it off for Couturier. John Couturier banks that back to Morrissey. Duchesne tries to kick that free. And Killorn back on it. Moved up by Reichenberg. And now Martinson comes in for it. His centering pass knocked down by Matheson. Christian Forsberg picks it back up, plays it back, but the pass drew Johansson all the way back to his own zone. Rosberg's in now. Taken down by Lee. The puck got down to Johnson. A penalty coming to Canada. And so Norway will go to the power play with 6:20 to go here in the third period. Back with more from the World Championship after this. So Norway gets a late power play here in the third period. Andreas Martinsen comes on as Chris Lee goes off, and Chris Lee, Ray, is a player we've talked about, is a guy that might very well be a central figure on Canada's Olympic team next year.
Well, the first thing that's going to happen here, and when I say relatively short order, I mean in the next couple of months, is they're going to have to determine who's eligible and what the ground rules are going to be
right
to what the roster might be. And there's lots of people talking about different things, that it could be this, it could be that. Well, as soon as we get the rules, a guy like Chris Lee might become someone that Canada looks to first, and they're getting a look at him here, playing on the big ice, playing against players that are going to be in the Olympics.
Really changes the dynamic. There is a deadline of sorts in that the individual countries have to submit long lists by October 1st to the IOC for WADA, the World Anti-Doping Organization, for drug testing. It is possible for a player who's not in that first list to play in the Olympics, but it's very hard. It takes a long time to get them in. So for the most part, the players that are on the long list are the guys who will represent Canada at the Olympics. Norway on the power play here. The centering pass by Olam knocked down, cleared up by Couturier.
The drug testing thing's interesting because the players have to be available, like every other Olympic athlete, for 24-hour testing. And so if players are playing in the American League, for example, that would be eligible, they're on that list, they have to be available for testing. It's a pretty complicated, intensive process to be an Olympic athlete. You have to document your travel, you have to document where you're staying, where you're going, so the testers can get to you.
And NHL players, or sorry, hockey players are no different than any other Olympic athlete. They're treated exactly the same.
You can take medication if you're playing in the NHL that you can't take in the Olympics.
Ask Nick Backstrom. Right?
Well, except that they apologized well after because they screwed up.
Yeah.
And Sweden didn't have one of their better players
for the gold medal
game. That was outrageous, actually.
It really was. And of all the players who deserve another crack at the Olympics, maybe no one deserves one more than Nick Backstrom. Johansson, as time winds down in this power play. One shot on goal for Norway on that man advantage. I think they haven't credited it yet. I think they got one. Giroux walks in and shoots. Knocked away by Hookland. 4 to go in the third period. Backhand shot taken there by Shen, and Hookland stops that. They have not credited Norway with a shot yet in this period. It's 45-10 for Canada. Still to come tonight, France against Slovenia here in Paris. In Cologne tonight, Russia against Latvia. Lots to play for the Latvians there. If they could upset the Russians, that would greatly bolster their hopes of making the quarters. Latvia does jump up and bite teams every once in a while. As Matheson plays it around, just don't get shorthanded would be the scouting report there. Shifley plays it ahead. Bob Hartley coaching Latvia at this year's tournament. And now a penalty coming as McKinnon touches up, and Shifley's going to go off.
If you're looking at this from the outside and you think it's not so bad, it's 4-0. The shots are 47-10.
Actually, Rose goes off. Canada had possession when they blew the whistle. Shifley was getting towards the penalty box. They said, no, it's the other guy.
Well, there's the penalty on Roost as he knocked the stick out of Shifley's hand. So 47-10 are the shots. It's 4-0. Canada's got 3 power play goals, 2 of them by Colton Parayko, and he's out there. See if they can find him for a third.
When the face-off back, Parayko plays it across for McKinnon. Nate McKinnon. Drops that back for Parayko. Across he goes to Marner. Marner drops it back. Parayko shoots, ripped the stick right out of Christian Forsberg's hand and sent that pinwheeling behind the goal. Now Scheifele sends it back, and a hard shot by O'Reilly. Scores! Ryan O'Reilly, power play goal. 5-0 Canada.
5-0. 4 power play goals. Ryan O'Reilly's got 3 power play goals in the tournament. There's the shot that knocks the stick out of the forward Forsberg's hands. Nate McKinnon's got his 3rd assist here as he takes the puck up high to Scheifele, down low, and it's on the tee for O'Reilly. And you see Forsberg's trying to defend him, but he doesn't have a stick. So even though he's in really good position, can't do anything to deny the shot. And Ryan O'Reilly scores again.
So 2:40 remaining here in the 3rd period. Canada with a 5-0 lead on Norway. A bounce-back game after the overtime loss to Switzerland. And you think Canada answered the questions right?
I do. I thought they came out, dominated the game from the moment after the first shift when Norway had a pretty good shift. After that, it's been all Canada. They've never taken their foot off the gas. The new line combinations looked like they really worked well.
Oh, what a move by Marner there. Poke check by Norstavo.
He had a chance to shoot that. It was like he was trying to up the degree of difficulty there.
If there's one thing I would guess the coaching staff might talk about, the number of times they passed up shots. Drop passes in the slot, things like that. That fair?
Sure, but I guess you're because they've got to say something, perhaps that might be it.
Yeah.
But when the game stretches out and you're dominating it so much, at times it's like you want to pass it into the net because you can. You think you can anyway.
Seconds to go in the 3rd period. Puck goes back down to Parayko at the Canadian line. Puck in the slot for Duchesne. Couldn't get a stick on that. Brought in by DeHaan. Centering pass knocked down by Thorson. Long lead pass intercepted by DeHaan. And suddenly the audio, every once in a while you get sort of extraneous sound effects here as Reichenberg lifts that high and wide.
Testing it for the next game's warm-up, maybe? I don't know.
Who knows? Killorn chips that ahead. In comes Alex Killorn now. Trying to sweep that back in front for Simmons. Killorn has it back. A little back pass knocked down by Holos. And he'll send it up to center ice. Not a lot of work for Chad Johnson in the Canadian goal. No shots on goal for Norway in the 3rd period. 10 total. Canada wins it by a final score of 5-0. A record now of 5 wins and 1 overtime loss, with 1 game left in the opening round against Finland tomorrow.
Domination from the beginning to the end for Canada. Chad Johnson had 2 shots on goal after the first period. Canada 48-10 shot advantage, 4 power play goals, and a well-deserved 5-0 win.
And for Norway, the tournament will wrap up tomorrow against Belarus, but that loss in regulation today eliminates them from contention for the medal round. Canada clinches first place in the group. Captain Claude Giroux and Team Canada disappointed by that loss against Switzerland. They blew a 2-0 lead, lost in OT. And now time for the player of the game presentation.
Mesdames et messieurs, les meilleurs joueurs du match seront récompensés par la montre officielle du tournoi remise par Tissot, chronométreur officiel du championnat du monde IIHF 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, the best players of each team will be awarded with the official watch of the event given by Tissot, official timekeeper of the IIHF World Championships. Les montres seront remises par M. Ottar Eide, secrétaire général de la Fédération norvégienne de hockey sur glace, et M. Marc Bergevin, représentant de la Fédération canadienne de hockey sur glace. Le meilleur joueur de l'équipe de Norvège, the best player for Norway, le numéro 42, 42, Henrik Odegaard.
Odegaard, the player of the game for Norway. Back in his 6th World Championship. I thought that's Mark Bergevin, the Montreal Canadiens GM on the left. Going to present the Player of the Game award for Canada.
Le meilleur joueur pour l'équipe du Canada, the best player for Canada, le numéro 12, 12, Colton Parito.
I'll hand it out to Colton Parito. Canadian families are here, arrived on the weekend. How big Parito is, even on skates.
Look at Bergevin trying to step up on his toes. That's not going to help Berg. They need a box to stand on.
So a bounce-back game for the Canadians. We'll once again hear their national anthem.
Merci de bien vouloir vous lever pour l'hymne national du Canada. Please rise for the national anthem of Canada.
Hurry up.
C'est la Russie qui affronte la République actuelle.
Et voilà, je crois qu'on a tout dit. On pense très bien. Ah oui, oui, aussi, merci la régie. Oui, on va se faire un petit classement après cette victoire.
Looking for a bounce-back game after an overtime loss as Switzerland and Canada got one against Norway.
Everything that they hoped for, I believe, in this game came to fruition for John Cooper, who started by changing his lines for the 3rd game in a row, and I thought he had excellent production up and down the lineup. Not that they scored a great deal, because they scored 4 power play goals, but they dominated the game territorially. They created all kinds of chances, just weren't able to score. But I like the way that the lines played and how aggressive they were. Then you look at the special teams. Their penalty killing was perfect. They killed off the power plays that they had to, but their power play, the Canadian power play, was outstanding. They scored 4 power play goals. Braden Shen gets 1, Ryan O'Reilly gets 1, and Colton Parayko with 2 blasts from the point. So really, start to finish, I don't know what Canada could have expected to be any better than this.
You can't say that for Matt Duchene. He had lots and lots of chances in this game, still couldn't break through.
Looked a little frustrated as the game played its way out, but I can't help but think that that's the best game that Duchene played in this tournament. And if you play like that long enough, you're going to get results. You can't be in and out of the game. That never seems to work. But Duchene was so good, created so much, and just wasn't able to finish. Nor, for that matter, could Jeff Skinner, who had about 10 shots on goal in the game, had great opportunities, and neither of the two of them could score. That's fine. You get through today, but you hope that that's a stepping stone for both.
So Canada now with 5 wins, 1 overtime loss, clinches first place in the group, wraps up the preliminary round against the Finns on Tuesday.
You want to do the next one? Oh, we don't have an open, do we?
The opening, yeah. For
yeah, do you want to do it?
Oh, let's do it. You want to do France, Slovenia?
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.